Today in Make and Drink, it's one more Mai Tai. One final Mai Tai for Mai Tai month. That's the Make and Drink Mai Tai. It's my version of a Mai Tai. And if you came to this bar and asked for a Mai Tai using only the finest of ingredients, this is what I would make for you. And I want to preface this all by saying this is not the greatest Mai Tai recipe of all time. It's not the ultimate Mai Tai. It's not the original Mai Tai. It's just what I like, and I spent a lot of time on this, probably all of this year, just fine-tuning this recipe. But I was also working on a deadline, which was today, August 30th, Mai Tai Day. And if you don't know, now you can know that officially August 30th is Mai Tai Day, as proclaimed by the City of Oakland, California. It's not National Mai Tai Day, but it's also not a fake holiday created by some holiday calendar website company. But if you out there at home, if you want this to be a national holiday and you want to make a difference, then just call this number below. So let's dive into this recipe. First of all, 1 ounce of lime juice, non-super juice here, freshly squeezed, of course, just as the man said to do in 1944. Half an ounce of orgeat. I'm using my orgeat recipe here, and I sneak in a little bit more than half an ounce. You can call it a fat half an ounce or 5/8 of an ounce if that helps, but just a little bit more than half an ounce. Now, the biggest dilemma here wasn't the rums. It was the thing that I spent the most time on by far, and that's the orange liqueur. It's often overlooked, but after making dozens of Mai Tais with different orange liqueurs, I've come to realize how incredibly important that it can be. I started by blind taste testing most of these on my own, then working them into Mai Tais. Then doing a blind Mai Tai taste test with 4 other people where we tasted 9 Mai Tais, all with different orange liqueurs and exaggerated amounts of orange liqueur, so 3/4 of an ounce in a drink instead of half an ounce. And something interesting happened in this taste testing though. Most people, including myself, ranked this bottle near the bottom, which was a pretty big surprise. I found that it has an overly bitter flavor when comparing to others, even against ones with the same exact sugar content like Grand Marnier. Several people said it tasted like Gatorade, and I don't want to ruin this or put this in your mind, but I can't get this out of my head. I can smell and taste orange Tootsie Rolls, the kind, at the bottom of a Halloween bag of candy from the old lady down the street. To be crystal clear, no hate coming from me. I just encourage you to try other things if you're trying to make your own recipe. Don't just use the one that other people use because other people say to use it. But another important factor here was this recipe was not about other people's preferences. It was all about me. And I narrowed it down to 3 orange liqueurs, which I blind taste tested several times using the standard half ounce in each drink. And very quickly, the blind taste testing was irrelevant because you can pick up the difference between these 3 immediately. I should say my initial goal here for this whole recipe was to make something that is relatively accessible but different. Not to use an ingredient that you can't find, and not to make something that is the same as everyone else's. As I was taste testing these orange liqueurs, it was obvious that there were 2 that I preferred, which were Clement Creole Shrubb, which is hard to find, and JM Shrubb, which is even more challenging to find. I tried to not choose those, but in taste testing, those 2 were always at the top. So here are some options for the orange liqueur. Half an ounce of JM Shrubb is preferred. If you can find it and want to try it, I highly recommend it. As far as I know, there's only one place in California that sells it, so I'm not going to use this in the recipe because it's so difficult to find. Instead, I'm going to use a 1/4 ounce of Clement Creole Shrubb and a 1/4 ounce of Grand Marnier. If you can't find Clement Creole Shrubb, then I would say just use half an ounce of Grand Marnier. It's not the same, but I think it's better than any of the other orange liqueurs in a Mai Tai, in my opinion. And I was hesitant to suggest using a split of Clement and Grand Marnier. I mean, very hesitant, because that's what Tropical Standard does. That's what Garrett Richard does. And that's what he does at his bar in New York. I did not want to be sheepish and choose that and sort of blindly follow it. So I tried hard to not do it. But if you taste test these, or when I did it, in a blind taste testing, those 2 together, in my opinion, are better than any of the other orange liqueurs. It's not something I noticed as much in the tropical standard drinks because they're using just a teaspoon, so you're not quite even getting a half an ounce total. But if you're using a quarter of an ounce and a quarter of an ounce, I think it makes something that is unique and different. It's not overly grassy and floral from the rum agricole. It's not overly sort of rich and have those like woody notes from the Grand Marnier. Together, it makes like the perfect combination of an orange liqueur. And it turns out that those two put together taste a lot like JM Shrubb. Saving the best for last, obviously, is the rum. I figured this out first and then changed it at the very end. A base of Appleton 12 because it's my favorite and it's available most everywhere. I wanted to try to bring the price point down, and I did a blind taste testing several months ago against Appleton 8 and Appleton Signature, and it's, for me, hands down, no question, easy. 12 is the best, 8 next up, and then the Signature, not really even close to those other two. I also wanted to do multiple rums here and to use another one of my favorites, which is Hamilton 151. And if you're afraid of 151, this is the best and really just an undiluted, actually lightly diluted, delicious Demerara rum. But over time, I found it to be like way too boozy. Don't forget that your half an ounce of orange liqueur is boozy. It's 40 ABV in most cases, and Appleton 12 is 43. And as I started making and drinking these other Mai Tais this last month, I just felt like I needed to change it. It's too heavy. So instead, I'm doing 1.5 ounces Appleton 12, half an ounce of Hamilton 86, which is essentially a diluted Hamilton 151. But a Demerara rum, you could sub in here. Pretty much anything from El Dorado will work. So this recipe is what I came up with. And if you want to try it, I encourage you to use what you have to try it. And I'm not done with this one yet. This is essentially version 1. So we're going to build this in a small shaker tin with 1 ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of orgeat, quarter ounce of Clement Creole Shrubb, quarter ounce of Grand Marnier, half an ounce of Hamilton 86, 1.5 ounces of Appleton 12. Garnish with some mint. Serve it with a straw from Surfside Sips and make sure it's in your favorite Mai Tai glass, or in this case, the Make and Drink Mai Tai glass. Available for purchase today while supplies last, of course, which could be a couple days, could be years. I have no idea and no frame of reference. These were designed by me and are 15-ounce heavy bottom glasses. If you've ever purchased a Mai Tai glass from a bar or a restaurant, these are probably exactly the same and screen printed by the company that does most of the Tiki glassware that you'll find. They're dishwasher safe and perfect for any Mai Tai or cocktail. So let's taste it. It's rum forward. It doesn't have that pungent taste that you might be used to in some Mai Tais. If you're comparing this to like the Ultimate Mai Tai or even the Smuggler's Cove Mai Tai, it's a little more subdued and brings in more of those Demerara flavors than the Jamaican, even though the base here is Appleton 12, which is a little bit milder. Now, unknowingly, I think I've trained my palate to taste orange liqueurs over anything else. It's like the first thing I can taste now when I drink Mai Tais. And that's why I chose those two orange liqueurs. They come through in this drink. It's not the world's greatest Mai Tai. It's just a Mai Tai that I like. It's a Mai Tai that I prefer. But I also like changing it up. So if you want to kind of build on this recipe, have at it. Maybe it inspires you to try something new in a Mai Tai, even just a slight variation to it. And one more thing, I have a new Patreon. If you're looking for ways to support this channel, that's where you can do it. I was very apprehensive. I still am. I didn't want it to be just like a simple donation type of thing or a tip your bartender type of thing. I wanted there to be real value to it and a reason for someone to join. And I think there is, and there definitely will be in the future. Overall, my plan is not to put anything that you would normally see here behind a paywall, but there are certain topics, recipes, and just video ideas that I would like to make that don't necessarily fit here. That might be the structure, it might be a YouTube algorithm related thing. So those videos will be on Patreon. There will also be free videos on Patreon occasionally, including the first one, which is live there right now, which is me doing a side-by-side comparison of Havana Club and a daiquiri. That's a real Havana Club from Cuba against the Bacardi Havana Club that you can find throughout the United States. And while a 30-minute Mai Tai video seems like, well, you know, what else is there in this genre? I think there are a lot of other drinks and people that have very little coverage, especially on YouTube, and I want to explore those. But I can't justify spending weeks of time researching a video without something like Patreon. I also know that it's not for everyone, so there will be a YouTube channel membership as well, and that's live right now as well, if that's something that you do. But if you're not into any of that because you can't or you just don't want to, I understand that. It's totally okay. The best thing you can do for anyone on YouTube, seriously, the best thing you can do is to like a video and subscribe to the channel. But before we go, we got to put the Make and Drink Mai Tai on the Make and Drink Mai Tai big board for Mai Tai month, because Mai Tai month is coming to a close. But you'll see there's a drink missing here. Partly a scheduling issue, but there's a very important Mai Tai recipe that I couldn't get to. If you haven't put it together by now, the someone else that will be here to talk about that recipe, as well as what happens to the Mai Tai in Hawaii, is Kevin Crossman. He'll be here. We'll talk about it, and we'll dive deeper into that Mai Tai recipe. So Mai Tai month, it's over, but there will be Mai Tai stuff in the future, including the de-evolution of Mai Tai as well. If you have questions about the Mai Tai, I'm going to put a link below to a Google form where you can submit questions. You can even do it anonymously. If you could put your questions there instead of in the comments, I can have them all together. There's already a dozen of really great questions, and I'm going to use those questions to talk to Kevin Crossman about the Mai Tai. So if you have anything that wasn't covered in the deep dive, that wasn't covered online, or you think is maybe missing somewhere, or just a clarification that you want to know about the Mai Tai, ask that question. And then when Kevin Crossman's here, I will ask him that question. So that's it for this one. I'm Derek, this is Make and Drink. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like below, consider subscribing to the channel, and while Mai Tai month might be over, there's also one more Mai Tai recipe we're gonna do very soon. And it just may very well be the worst Mai Tai in the history of Mai Tais. So bad, we could not include it in Mai Tai month.